it's kind of crazy because we both play at indoor at a high level, and I think you play Division 1 at Texas A&M.
Yep.
And as a matter of fact, man, let's just jump this thing off, bro.
I got you, dog. You started. I got you. I'm on the
Yeah,
ride with
we're
you.
gonna jump this thing off. So, everybody, it's your boy Timothy Shockley Jr. with the Dream Muscle podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in wherever you're watching this: YouTube, Spotify, uh, Instagram. We thank you for joining. I got a special guest today, and I'm super super excited for you guys to get to know this guy. Um, but real quick, if you have not been to dreammusclecoffee.com, please go to dreammusclecoffee.com and support one of the best coffee brands in the world, revolutionary. We have a few products that will help you in your health and vitality. So make sure you go to dreammusclecoffee.com. But I want to introduce to you guys Matt Moss, a great friend, and I'm super excited to have him and welcome.
Yo, we in. Let's go.
Let's go, man.
Third and long.
So
let's go. Pass rush. Let's go.
Third and
one
long,
on one.
bro.
Let's go. Right. Live life in the trenches all day.
In the trenches all day, bro. Matt Moss. Let me just go down the accolades here. So Texas A&M University, originally from California. 2003 CPFL Defensive Player of the Year, 4-time indoor football champion, 2-time first team All-Pro champions indoor football defensive end, 2-time first team All-Pro CPIFL, 2013 CPIFL defensive MVP, 17 and a half sacks, 2012 IFL defensive MVP, 16 and a half sacks, career leader in sacks with 68, which is a lot, 2012 Wichita Professional Athlete of the Year, and 2013-2014 Wichita Professional Athlete nominee. Also with stints in the Chinese Arena Football League. He also played with the Duke City Gladiators and the Wichita Wild Wichita Force. What a resume. And so much more that I probably don't even know about.
Too much traveling, dude. Too much, but a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun, dude. A lot of fun. It was go ahead, you good?
Go ahead.
Oh, you're good, big. Go ahead, man. Ask away. You're good.
So when did you call it quits?
I called it quits after Duke City. We were playing in China, and it was fun. China was awesome. It was a great experience. A group of guys were amazing. The 60 Americans that went over there. It was just a phenomenal overall experience. And I was ready to just play that until the wheels fell off. I had 2 workouts in the NFL and just missed the mark on both of them. So I knew that, I knew that I'd take what I could at the age and ride with it, And then when the China League fell through, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was personal training in San Diego, and then Dominic Bramante hit me up and told me to come out there and, come out there for another year. And I told him I'm not playing unless we win a championship, and unless, you want to win a championship, and that's the only reason why I'm coming out to play. And then we went out there again, and that was probably one of the most memorable seasons and special seasons ever, just because it started with a goal, and it started with just looking at something every day and wanting to get to the top of the mountain in Albuquerque. We said we wouldn't take a team photo until we won the championship, and we would take it at the top of the mountain in Albuquerque. You have to take the tram all the way to the top. And I remember thinking about it all the time, and then to do it and to overcome that with the men we did it with, and to take that picture, it was just a memory that, can never be gone.
Yeah.
And after that, I knew I did what I wanted to do. I gave it my shot. My body was, how it is. Arena football is hard on the body.
Right.
And
yeah.
Playing in the trenches in the arena leagues, even, I think it's just a rough place to be. It's a quick game. It's physical. The wall's there, and those big dudes will take advantage of throwing you in that wall anytime they get a chance.
You got that right, man.
And that wall's undefeated. That wall's undefeated. There's no one that wins against that wall.
It is undefeated for sure, bro.
Defensive MVP every year.
Yeah, bro. It's I tell people now, what years did you play in Wichita?
I played in Wichita from. I actually played there in 2011. I played in San Jose for San Jose SaberCats, and I was there. And then I got hurt, and I was on the injured reserve. And
Okay.
then that's where I really learned how to play the game the best. Was I got linked up with this guy Gabe Nineheist, who back in the day when he played for the Soul, he was one of like the top guys back in the day when they were paying big money and the contracts were huge. He was like $100,000 type player making an arena league. He was one of those top guys playing for John Bon Jovi or one of those teams. I think he was
Yeah,
playing for
yeah,
the Soul. And
for sure.
he kind of taught me the game there. And as a veteran, he was 30 and I was young and I came in. And then I went and played in Wichita for 3 games in 2011 and then actually got picked up by Edmonton Eskimos. And I was signed to the CFL and I went to training camp with them and made it all the way to the end. And then the week before the first game, I got cut. It was the lockout year. And Marcus Howard, I think his name was, from Georgia. He came out of the league, and there's a bunch of dudes in the CFL that had no business being up there because they were just so, they were good. They were they were NFL. They didn't need to be in a they didn't need to be in a CFL to get a shot out, right? Like that. They were already in the NFL. It's just the lockout year, and they got screwed with the bargaining agreement and whatnot, so they couldn't get in. So then they took their guaranteed. So that's what that CFL year was like. Real
Right,
competitive and awesome.
right, right. Yeah, I think, I've been saying this for years, man. Of course, when I came out of college, of course, all of our dreams were to play in the NFL, whatnot, and end up going, the indoor route, and which I tell people to this day. I mean, I did it for 7 years, and I tell people to this day, I'm like, I had a blast, man. You know, After the second year, I was like, it took me a couple years to get used to the speed of the game.
Oh yeah.
Because it was quick, and playing, I played center and guard, so like, you know actually I played nose my first year, but I switched over to offensive line. But um you used to outdoor, you used to shade and doing all kind of zoning and stuff like that. When you get indoor, it's mono a mono. So your mistakes are exposed every play.
I love it though, dude. It's so much like life though when you get out in the real world, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That O line versus D line is like life right there. It's one-on-one battle, and it's like us. It's us three against. Unless you're blitzing, but then your running back is maybe picking them up or whatever. Or passing
yeah,
stuff off.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's basically it's me against you all game, and you bring what you got, I got bring what I got, and it's really just an MMA match or a boxing match. Like I think MMA and D line and O line, it's real similar hand fighting techniques. We're all, you're looking for my rhythm, and you're trying to catch me in between my rhythm, just like in an MMA or fighting. Like I'm trying to catch you in yours, where you're not, you're stepping in, and I'm coming into you now, or whatever it is, or you're trying to jump set me to anticipate something. It's a real. I like it because it really makes the D lineman have to come in and contact you, right? You can't not like contact in arena ball. You know what I mean? You're gonna get hit. You're gonna,
Yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean? You can only, I can't line up in a 9 technique against you, right?
Right. Right.
It's not the old Jason Babin back in the day where you're in a 9 and your butt's in the air and you're flying up the field and you got,
Right.
underneath and you're good, but no, not here. You do that. That quarterback's going to take it, or they're going to, it opens up a passing lane. So it's just quicker to throw the ball when you
Yep.
have a guy that runs the rim like that.
Yep. Exactly,
It's a
bro.
it's a good game though. It's a great game though. I've always told
It,
people the same thing you said.
it's something about walking out in that arena, man. And it's crazy. I tell people all the time, I'm like, and the thing too is, I remember a couple of guys years ago, they was like, I want to, they were outdoor semi-pro players, and they were like, I want to go play indoor. I'm like, people think indoor is just like weak or something. Like people just think. I'm like, bro,
No, dude.
like, nah, man, it's not, man. I played in the IFL
Mm-mm.
and I played in the CPIFL, and I'm like, no, it's No, it's not a pushover game, man. Like you got to be. You actually
No,
got to.
it's not. And
You
it
know.
doesn't matter who you play against. I'm gonna tell you that much. It doesn't matter who you play against. And I tell everybody there when they come in, they could be Division One, they could be any division up the board. They could be a guy that came out of nowhere and played. In
Right.
that arena, you never know because that game is so tight, it's so small. It doesn't matter. I've had O
It doesn't
linemen that
matter, right?
are 3 inches, 4 inches taller than me that I assumed one thing, and next thing you know, it turned into a battle for a little while just because they had leverage on me. Because I'm used to going against a 6'7" tackle where okay, I got leverage on him, right? I can drop lower. I got to get his hips lower. Well, I'm gonna get him in an uncomfortable position. Well, now what do I do when the guy's the same height as me?
Right.
When I drop my hips,
Sure.
you're dropping your hips. So now that's a whole different game than the outdoor game. And that's hard for guys that are not in that tweener position where they're like a bigger DN, smaller three. When you have the outdoor guys that are just, like an outside linebacker DN, it's kind of difficult to play that shade and get wide, but also get forward because you can't go too wide or else you only have a certain amount of time to get to that quarterback.
Right. For sure. Yeah. Yeah. 100%, man. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Yeah. It's a, and so that's why I have even in people, they ask me what my long-term dreams are. In a sense, I'm like, man, I actually want to own an arena football team. I really want to see that game evolve. I really do, man. I can't I'm gonna be honest with you, man, especially after this past year. I just NFL is trash, man. It's trash in the sense of how the players are being treated.
Oh yeah, in
And
that way
a
for
lot,
sure.
yeah, it's
You
horrible. It's
can't play the
trash,
game.
man.
You
And
can't play the game though anymore though. Like how is a defensive player supposed to hit somebody? Now I got to be worried about how I hit you like that.
yeah,
If you take
yeah,
in thought into tackling, that's how you have injuries. Like you can't
right,
think when you tackle. You have to just go into the mode. That's why you practice tackle in the beginning. You get good at what you do, and then when you go in there, you have to just trust your instincts and go get it. If you're thinking you're going to miss a tackle, or you're going to line your body up in the wrong position because you don't want to take
right,
a $5,000 hit and hear it from your significant other. You know what I mean? Like what? Where's the guy going to be at? What is he supposed to do?
right, right, for sure. No, 100%, man.
And then with the
Yeah,
COVID thing,
it's
I
just
don't
terrible in
understand
that
that
sense,
either.
man.
And then with the vaccine testing and stuff like that, like with Cole
Man,
Beasley
that's
and
a
stuff like, yeah, I don't know how they do that to those guys.
yeah, it's horrible. And then too, like football. I tell people football is the only, and the reason why I want to see the arena indoor football game progress as well because, and at one point it was taking a lot of. I mean, arena football in like 2000, the early 2000s, indoor football. I mean, we was taking a lot of strides, and then when they had the lockout, and then all some with the player salaries or whatnot, and they end up, closing their AFL and filed for bankruptcy and all that stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
it kind of was a setback for the sport. I tell people all the time when they say, a lot of people think that like arena football is like, the minor league of an NFL or whatever. I'm like, if you really look at the game, it's a completely different game.
Yes,
It's like
that's
a
what I've
different.
said.
It's a different sport, man.
It
It's
doesn't
a whole
even need to
different
be
sport.
marketed with the NFL. Like it's
No,
not
not
the
at all.
NFL.
No, not
It's
at
not.
all. And no, and so this is where I tell people all the time. Okay, in every sport in majority of the sports except football, you have alternatives. So I said you got thousands of Division I colleges, thousands of Division II colleges, all these different colleges, thousands of football players, and every year you get 280 something or 300 spots in the draft or whatever.
Oh yeah, dude. There's definitely I get where you're going. There's definitely money to be made for somebody that owns an NFL team to do. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah,
There's tons of good players to
and then
even make a league
yeah,
to do that. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And then you got the CFL, and then you did have the AFL, but okay, so if a player doesn't go to the NFL in football and he doesn't go to the CFL, he's back at home on the couch.
Exactly.
Whereas if you play baseball, you got independent leagues, you got the minor league, 3 different levels of minor league, and you have the MLB.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of baseball to be played as a baseball player.
Mhm.
Basketball, you can go to the NBA, NBDL, the CBA, wherever that's still around. Then you got all these different countries
Yep.
who got basketball. You can go play in Puerto Rico, you can go play in Denmark, you can go play wherever and make
And they're
decent
making
money.
good money too, not AFL
Yeah.
money, not like arena
Yeah.
league indoor money. They're making good money.
They're
you
making
know?
good money, right? Some of those guys
Yeah,
do
they're
that for
making
a whole
bread.
like 13 years. They
Yep.
do that for like a whole career, you know.
Who's
And
that
then
guy
like
that did it in
hockey.
China?
Yeah, yeah.
What's that guy that
And
did it in
then
China? Right? What's that guy's name? I remember
I
seeing him
don't
out there when
know,
we were out there. We
but
seen his shoes and stuff, and I just was like, man, that's
was
crazy.
it
He went out there and did that.
is it Allen Iverson?
No, I forgot his name though. He went out there, and I know he has a shoe and everything like a brand out there. We saw it when we were out in China. Maybe I'll remember it.
Yeah. And then like hockey, same thing. Hockey. When I lived in Kansas City, the Mavericks weren't even an NHL team, and they were packing out the stadium 5,000 fans several nights a week. A minor league, non-NHL hockey team. So it's just like soccer. It's the same way, you know. And so it's like
Yeah.
football is the only sport where you don't have that opportunity. And that's where I want to see I want to see the game of indoor. I want to see it evolve. You know, I want to see it like evolve into its own thing where athletes can actually go and spend their career making decent money, and do that and perfect their game. You know,
I've
because it's
always
fun.
said
It's
that.
fun for family. Yeah, it's
Great.
fun for the family. It's fun
Exactly. That's
for,
what I've said.
you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've said that same
Yeah.
thing. It's fun for family. I've said if it paid the same as the NFL, right? Let's say same money, right?
Yeah.
And if I would play that. Like I like that game more. Like I played outdoor football. I played Canadian football. I like Canadian football too. I think it's fun too. Canadian football, if people haven't watched that, it's a great football to watch. It's fun. It's different. There's only 3 downs, so you think that changes a whole different. I mean, when you're out there your first time and there's only 3 downs, let me tell you something. It's weird. I'll never forget my first preseason game. Second down, and you're seeing the punt. You're like, what? Like what's happening right now? Because you're like it's third down. Your whole life you got 4 downs. No, up there it's different. And so it changes the game. Then they have high motion, just like arena games. So to be honest, like all of us arena players, we transition well in Canada because those guys are high motion. They have that high motion out there. That's what I thought the Canadian game was real fun to watch. I mean, if you haven't checked that, check that out. That game is real fun to watch. There's some good ball up there, and there's some fun, different like nuances of the game up there that kind of make it a fun little sport. But even arena league is different, and like you said, it should be marketed not even as the NFL. It should be the spring thing to watch, like, hey, you want to watch the NFL? Well, here, check out this game too. Check out our league. It's not the NFL. It's its own version of football.
That's the best. It's a version of football. I like that.
Yep. And it's the spring
sure.
version for when you're missing it. It's like, come check it out. It's more gladiator type sport. It's inside. You get more of like you get that cozier feel when you come in there, and it does feel like a Coliseum Roman gladiator type. I mean, when you and me were back in there, and like when I was in 12 and 13, the game was still super gladiator. Like there was guys pushing after the plays, guys getting thrown. I was like, this is like WWE with football. This is awesome. This is intense. Like, and then it kind of got, with concussions and all that, things got tightened up a little bit. But you could still, there's still so much more of a personal experience with arena football. Like you're going to sit close to us, and if you're there every game, I'm going to get to know you. I'm going to get to know your kids. I'm going to get to know everything about you. I'm going to come over there, shake your hand after the game. You're going to get footballs. You're going to get to know everyone. And all the guys you play with and all the guys you meet in arena football are great people and great guys to get to know. You just gotta be, they got rough exteriors, but hey, they got a heart of gold, man. And every team I've been on have been a group of guys that are just looking for a shot, like looking for an opportunity and are willing to put in the work. Because if you're an indoor, you're willing to work, man. Because it's not like you're making millions of dollars. You're working a job and you're going to practice. And I think it's the pure, almost like the purest game. You're still making some money, and then you're traveling with your boys, but it's a pure sport,
Yeah, for sure, bro. So how did you? So All right, let's rewind a little bit. How did you get to Texas A&M?
Oh, geez. So I started playing in high school, and I didn't have good grades, and I was getting looked at by Fresno State and little schools like little whack like the whack schools out here, and I honestly wanted to quit ball. I was working for my dad in construction, making good money in California. I was like, dude, I don't want to play football anymore. You know, I was like, yeah, I'm good. And then I went out and played at Grossmont College in my first year. I had 26 sacks and had a great year. And I didn't do good at school. I didn't do good at school at all. I actually think I didn't fail every class, but I got D's in every class. And I did. I did. I didn't do good. I did the same thing I did in high school. I played football, and I thought I would just skate on by with school again. So they had a hard conversation with me, and I started taking 24 credits that spring and started trying to work back to get my units back. And then I took I think I took 22 units in the spring of the spring, or not spring, but the summer semester. So over summer, I was going to school all day, all night. And during that springtime, that's when I got the offer from A&M after my first season. And they came in out of nowhere. They were like, hey, we like your film. We're going to give you a shot. And I was like, oh, I was just thinking they were just speaking. I thought they were just talking the talk. I was like, no one comes to California and gets D linemen, like San Diego. Like they get kids from Texas. They grow D linemen out there, like what do they need kids from? And sure enough, they called me, and me and my dad went out there, and I'm a man of faith. Throughout my whole football career, I've always, my dad's had a saying my whole life, and he's always like, make sure he's in the boat with you, he's in the boat, and I always think about that time when he's with the disciples on the boat, and the disciples are all tripping out about the storm. And I always think about that in life, you're on a boat, and you're with him, and he's in the boat. And, sometimes the water gets rough, and sometimes things get real rough, and it gets scary, and you want to go wake him up. And when he gets woken up and he comes out and he's like, basically, in my words, and he's just saying he's like, hey, don't you know who made this? Don't you know who created this storm? Like you go back to sleep. And he's like, right. And the same thing with anything that trials or anything in your life, it's the same thing. It's like, hey, it's going to be okay. It's all going to pass.
Right.
And,
right.
Throughout that's my faith that I've had. I was praying, hey, Lord, give me a sign when I go to A&M. If this is the place to go, let me know. And there's a street there that's pointed to A&M, and it's actually Moss Street. And it's pointed to the stadium. And so we were driving and we see it, and it's really there. You could look it up on a map. Moss Street points right to the stadium. I was like, all right, know where I'm going, easy as that. You got it. And I went there, and I played with some awesome guys, Michael Bennett, Von Miller, Ryan Tannehill, some great athletes. Learned a lot. It was competitive. It was fun. It was hard. It was challenging. It challenged me to my core every bit. And it's just how I got there. I had 2 great seasons at JUCO at Grossmont College, and then somehow, some way, the Lord opened up a door for me to go to A&M, and I went out there and experienced Big 12 football, and playing Big 12 football on Saturdays.
That's what's up, man. Heck yeah.
Yeah, it was a rude awakening, though. It was a rude awakening.
Yeah,
coming from California to the Texas ball is a whole different. It's a whole different beast in the Big 12. At least right. It's kind of gotten changed a little bit now. But when I was there, there was Sam Bradford at Oklahoma, DeMarco Murray was there. Des Bryant. Oklahoma. You got Justin Blackman before all that. You got Colt McCoy. You got everybody was coming around there, and it was real competitive at that time. Right, Trent Williams. Right. I mean, the old linemen we played against were just Trent Williams, Phil Lodeholt, all these guys that you battle in the trenches with. And they're, now Trent's one of the highest paid old linemen, in the NFL right now.
Right. What was it? So what was your mindset like? All right. So even when your transition from JUCO, because I went to junior college as well. I was in Minnesota, Rochester Community College in Minnesota, and I was there for same story, man. I
JUCO, baby.
JUCO, bro. Grades are horrible, man. I actually signed with KU at a high school, University of Kansas at a high school.
Nice.
And they end up, my GPA my first semester even in at JUCO was like it was like 0 something, bro. It was horrible. And I'm like you, I had to take. I'm going like double full time in the summer. I'm just.
Oh yeah. The
It's
struggle,
bad
dog.
stuff.
I know
The
it.
struggle, man. I actually ended up redshirting my sophomore year in JUCO because my grades were that bad. Trying to get my grades up and everything. So I was there for 3 years instead of 2. But no, I understand, man. And so, like, what was your mindset coming from a JUCO to a Division I school in the Big 12 in Texas? You know, as it relates to where you was, JUCO ball.
Well, when I first got there, Michael Bennett took me in and really kind of taught me about the trenches and really got me in the mindset and helped me with training and helped me with the transition from junior college to playing big time football and not trying to get embarrassed on national TV, and so he during that whole time there was a time period where I honestly went to the coach and I wanted a redshirt. I just didn't see how I was going to be able to compete or play. I was kind of getting a little bit of resistance, and I was honestly doubting myself just a little bit with everything going on. They looked at me and said, "No," basically like, "No, you'll be all right." And I went out there and just and started just remembering the stuff that was drilled into me in college or in junior college, such as hand technique and hand fighting and just technique. And then I've never been the biggest guy in the trenches, but I always know that there's technique involved. And if I can figure out your game before you figure out mine, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. And I got to figure that out. And that's one thing. The older I got, I found out that I was really addicted to was that nuance and that little part of the game. And that's where I figured out like my method to the madness was trying to beat that part. Like where can I take my strengths and attack your flaws? Because you're bigger than me, you're taller than me. Trent I remember going against Trent in Oklahoma and he's staying with you the whole time. Well, I'm trying to race you to 3. I'm trying to race you to that set point and get to that set point. And if you're parallel with me, I got this, and this. If I'm behind you, then I'm screwed now. Like, if you're backpedaling and I'm not keeping up with you, I gotta be in front of you, dude. I gotta have one step ahead of you so that when I get to that set point, I can drop my shoulder, drop my hip, and dip and rip and go and work that edge. If I don't, I'm getting washed around the quarterback, and that's just like getting blocked. So, you gotta have that alpha male mindset the whole time. And my mom always instilled in me, you could do all things, with Christ who strengthens, and I just always knew that he brought me there. And as long as I take control of what I can control and bring the gifts that he's given me and work on those and work on the things that I can work on and work on my attitude and, don't stress about everything else, it usually always works out. The man upstairs never fails, man.
Right.
I've told my dad over my life experiences, he's the only person that's like an ATM where, you know what I mean? He's always, he's always giving, dude, and you never go into ATM and there's not something to come out. You know what I mean? He's always there.
Sure.
It might not be in your time, right? You know what I mean? And some chapters might be longer and others times where like I got cut in Canada. And when I got cut in Canada, I had to come back down and find stuff out to do or just different stuff. And when it's not what's going on in your life, you know what I mean? Or going your way,
Right.
But he always works it out for the long, and he works it out in his time, and his time is the right time, and that's the hard part sometimes.
Right. For sure. Yeah. That is the hard part, especially, being an athlete, I think there are so many challenges, man. And, we all, played a game at one point where we were the hero. And then as you move up the ladder, everybody becomes a hero and you challenge yourself. And it's funny how everything is, man, it's funny how everything goes back to fundamentals. Everything, I find myself, I tell people, high school for me was fairly easy. When I got to during college, it was all right. It wasn't that, of course you had a lot of competition. Everybody's trying to go Division I, Division II. or everybody's trying to get out, basically. And then when you got I guess the indoor league, there were new challenges, and I learned that even playing indoor football, for me, it was about going back to the fundamentals. It was about going back to the thing because everybody's big, everybody's fast, everybody's strong. So now it comes down to what you talked about, the technique. It comes down to all the mental exercises, coming down to the confidence, coming down to the leadership, coming down to study, knowledge, making sure to understand the game, understanding what my opponent's doing, understanding my playbook, all those little things that we used to just we thought was like, oh, I don't need that. I'm a pure athlete. I'm running on athleticism. It transitions and it transfers into life as well. Even as I tell people all the time, I'm an entrepreneur now, but I tell people all the time, like, that is my sport. Entrepreneurship is much like football. You are
Yep.
responsible for your own outcomes. You have to lead thyself. You have to visualize. You have to trust in the Lord. Like, there's no way that I can do what I do without God on my side right now, man.
That's right, man.
So, and we learned a lot. And I'm a kind of fast forward a little bit. And one thing I tell people, especially as it related to 2020, I tell people when we play ball, I mean, of course, you have a few nuts on every single team. You have a few guys on every single team that are just weird or whatever. But and you can probably attest to this as being a 4-time champion. When you in that locker room, nobody's looking at nobody's color. Nobody's looking at where nobody comes from. We're all the thing we have in common is we're trying to get after this championship. The thing that we have in common is we're trying to win, And so I tell people all the time, I'm like, one of the things I love about the sport, especially football is a complete team sport, man. And you have to learn how to depend on your brother or your sister or you have to release that responsibility, because if not, you're not going to get to the W.
That's right.
You can't worry about what your nose guard is doing. Yeah, you can encourage him, you can empower him, you can, correct him every so often, but at the end of the day, he has to know what he's doing. And you have to trust at some point that he's going to do his job.
I played with Kendrick Harper, K-Hop, and he played at KU, and he played with a lot of good guys.
Yep.
He's a talented guy, man. And he's a master of his craft. That's what in arena ball, you get guys that are just playing the game to play the game and they're good. And then you got guys that are masters of their craft that treat the game like they're NFL because they understand that you never know. You never know until the door closes. You know what I'm saying? You never know on the opportunity. You hear about all these guys getting shots left and right, and you just never know. Out of all the opportunities I had, I never knew they were going to happen. They just happened. You know what I'm saying? And so with K-Hop, you had a saying with the team going off your thing, bring your eighth in arena ball. Bring your eighth player on the team. Bring your eighth, right? Pizza pie. Everybody brings their slice. Yeah. If you don't bring your slice, you ain't eating that pizza with us, right? You ain't eating the piece of the pie. You got to bring your slice. You got to work. Right? You know what I mean? And
I
those
like
are the teams
that.
we were on. Was that accountability. The Wichita teams that we were on, our defense, if you came to practice, sometimes you would think we were the most dysfunctional defensive team ever because we could be fighting each other, not fighting physically, but words. But it's just that we held ourselves to such a high standard that we always expected greatness from all of our guys, that if we didn't fail, you were getting it from everybody you were going to get it when you had it. And there's not all the teams that can do that, but we had a bunch of guys that were alpha males committed to the process to be good and wanted to change the dynamics of the indoor game in our way and create something special. And that's what we wanted to do. So we set the goal and we kept each other accountable. Like you're saying, that's what a team is. All the teams are not going to be the same religion. You're sure as heck not going to have the same race. And,
right.
There's a sense of vulnerability, right? You got to get changed, right? So, the best locker rooms I've been in and the most successful teams would be in real are the teams that are out there free and going, right? It's the locker room. There's nothing out there. There's no worried about judgment or anything. It's just a family, right? It's like you're at your house, right? And that's when you go in the locker rooms like that. You know, I used to bring my kid into Duke City all the time, and it felt like a second home. And the whole time I could feel that we were going to win because our team was at home. And if that locker room feels like that and has accountability, you know, that's I wish there was more like ways to get locker rooms into business, because a locker room is where you can say feelings, right? A locker room is where you can talk about feelings. You can say, oh, I don't want to go to practice. But guess what? When you walk through those doors, you base your decisions off of commitment, right? Not off of feelings no more. You're committed to the team. You're committed to the process because you got your pads on. You got everything on. No more feelings anymore. We're going to go commit to the work. We're going to put the work in. We're going to get back out, and we can bitch about it when we shut that door and the coaches don't come in, because it's our area, right? We let the feelings out. And that's when we vent to each other. But when you get out in the real world, that there is not that anymore. And people don't really see that. Sometimes you vent, they're like, well, that guy's going to quit. But it's like, no. I'm committed. I'm committed to the process. But I understand that no one feels like doing everything all the time. And if you're real about it, then you never feel like doing anything. Entrepreneur, you don't always feel like it, but you're committed to the process, and you're committed to the overall goal that you have.
Right. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why this man is a 4-time champion, defensive player of the year, all pro CPIF. This is why. This is the mentality you have to be great, you know. And it's crazy, man. Like, we talk about the alpha male, and it just seems like that is just a sin these days, man. To have that standard, to have that level of, to have that mindset, to be like, you know what, I'm going to be great. Like, I'm not giving up, or I'm committing to the work, whether I feel like it or not, or, you know, or I'm gonna have the hard conversation, whether you like it or not, you know, like, or whether I want to have it or not. I'm not sweeping stuff up. Like, that seems like it's a sin these days, man. And that's the thing. That's kind of the era we play ball in, man. And you know, we had the coaches who were, I mean, you know, that would, you know, hit up beside the head with a clipboard, man. And we didn't quit. We just kept going, man, because we knew, like, we were, like you said, we were committed to the overall objective of the team, man. You know,
no,
and
you're absolutely right.
You know, and we knew at the end of the day, it was just all love. You know what I'm saying?
That mindset, you know, there's all different bumps and roads in the, you know, coming out of A&M, I was going to get, I was going to sign to go play with the Bengals right out of A&M. I went undrafted. The Bengals were going to give me an opportunity. The day before I was supposed to fly out, I got released. And then after I got released, I had to find something to do. I had to find some work around there. So around College Station, I started working as a beerman. Started driving around a beer truck, working for a local beer company. And that was probably the most humbling experience ever. And it drove me the most, because I'd go in there every day, and there'd be people that would see me playing football at A&M on Saturdays. And now I'm stocking shelves at the thing, right? And maybe people I didn't treat well, and maybe I had a different opinion about myself right at bars or different things, or maybe I wasn't nice, and maybe people got a second chance to say something or stuff. But I remember I'd go in my truck and I would bawl my eyes out, because I was like, man, wow, where am I at? Where's it going? But I knew that, you know, like I said, it's gonna happen. And that's why I mean, now doing things in life, things never go your way, but I always preach that you got 3 traits that the good Lord's blessed you with. At least if you have more, you got more, but you got 3 traits. He's given to you. Give him back his investment and use him, and then, hey, watch what he does. You know. And if you do that every day and you don't worry about it, good things happen. You know, and that's the mindset you got to have. And the alpha male mindset, you know, speaking on that, with people saying it's bad, I want to meet other alpha males that challenge me, just like an O-line, right? I want to play against another guy like yourself that wants to beat me and dominate me, right? Because I know that's how you get better. You know, if you just win all the time, okay, yeah, cool, right? But you got to get some losses in there too. You got to understand, you know, you got to understand it, right? You got to understand everything in life. And, you know, like, you got to plan until you get punched in the mouth. Well, I got to plan until I go against the guy and he punches me, and I go, okay, whoa, right? He's got meat hooks. What am I got to get these hands off, right? You know, like, and you got to plan too. So when I'm an alpha male knows that when he gets knocked down, he's going to learn more and he's going to get better. You know what I mean? That's the way you get better. That's the way you get learned is you get challenged by another one, right? Another alpha male challenges you. Let's say I get beat up by an O-lineman. The O-lineman beats me up all game and I don't win. I'm on film the next day watching every single time. And then I'm going to my offensive lineman I play against. I'm saying, hey, I need you to do this set to me. I need you to do this set to me. I couldn't handle quick sets. When I was in Duke City and I came back after taking a year off, I told my lineman quick set me every practice. And it used to frustrate me, but I knew that I needed to get that part of my game figured out because it was one of my sides where if I'll take you all day. You want a kick step, I'm gonna get you. I'll figure it out. I'll get you tired or I'm gonna figure it out. But if you start quick setting me, that's when I get frustrated because now you've taken my whole game out. Now you've brought the contact to me, and now I don't have a chance to decide the contact, right? So as an alpha male, I'm frustrated. I ain't gonna let it beat me, right? I know it's a weakness, so I confront the weakness when it's uncomfortable, knowing it's uncomfortable, because that's what an alpha male is supposed to do. You're supposed to go confront that that uncomfortability and make it comfortable. Sure. and get comfortable, right? If you want to be the best, that's how Tom Brady becomes Tom Brady.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like I talk about this all the time. Matter of fact, I did a keynote not too long ago, and I tell people all the time that actually another guy said it, but I'm repeating it in my own words. But he said that greatness is not a matter of what a man have accomplished, achieved, or succeeded at, but it's rather how a man has been able to bounce back from adversity or bounce back from trials and tribulations. And so I tell people all the time when I sit down with somebody who's more successful than me, I don't want to know how you became successful. I want to know how you was able to overcome some of your most detrimental situations of your life. You know what I'm saying? And so, like you were saying, like just creating creating that scenario to where it's like, you know what, I want to lose today, so I can be better on Saturday. Right? I need you to, seriously, I want to lose today. So, I tell my kid all the time, being in the house is like practice. Being in my house is like practice. You get room to lose. You get room to make your mistakes. But when you go out there, you better represent.
That's right.
Just like a coach would say, we can fight, we can fight in this locker room, but don't be fighting on that sideline.
Unchallenged, you get complacency. What I mean? Unchallenged, complacency settles. If you're unchallenged, at one point, your opinion of yourself is going to get too high and you're going to settle. You're going to settle. That's why you got to challenge yourself. You got to get challenged, and you got to have that feeling like, whoa, this guy's kicking my ass. Like I haven't won a battle in 2 series. What's going on right now? Like I like that because wow, okay, right. What do you got to do? You got to get back to the basics, back to the fundamentals. You got to say, okay, what is he doing? Okay, his hand's coming on me. He's pressing me first. I got to get that wrist. I got to focus on just the wrist. Once I get that wrist out, then I'll work on my next phase. And then you put it all together, But you're absolutely right. That's where it comes in. You practice how you're going to play, and that's when you say you get challenged on the field. I want to get challenged every day. In my job I do now, I get challenged every day. I'm challenged all the time with everything that's going on. And that's why I like it every day. It's I didn't understand success after football. It was hard to figure out something because I'm like, I was good at killing a quarterback and hitting a quarterback and moving another person against their will, right? Like that's what you did too, right? You moved another person against their will. I want to go this way. I'm not going to let you go that way, right? You know what I'm saying? Nick Hardwick said it the best. He said, that's what I did for a living. I moved other grown men against their will. Like that was my job. And that's what I did. So that's what O-line and in the trenches is. It's a battle, but if you can take your mindset from the trenches and put it into the real world, you'll succeed in life because the trenches is hey, you better be passionate and you better have an attitude, a swagger, whatever the young guys are calling it, whatever you want to call it, but you better put in there because once your hand goes in the ground, nothing but hard work is coming out of there. You're not skating by in there. You got to work to get through there.
Right.
Same in life. You got to work.
100%. So funny, just to compliment what you're saying, I was listening to a guy the other day, and he said when people talk about purpose and everything, he said what they're really saying is that they're seeking challenge. That's what makes us that's what brings fulfillment to our life in a sense. It's just a little bit of a challenge, a little bit of something to keep us moving, something to keep us, asking questions and really thinking about, ourselves in a different way, So it's like, so I was like, man, that's interesting. I never heard it like that. That we're all just seeking a little bit of a challenge.
We are, man.
It's like working out. Like you was a trainer, what I'm saying? I was a trainer. So it's just like working out. And we worked out for a long time, all of our life pretty much. And it's just like, you don't grow until you hit that pain point in a sense. It has to have a little bit of resistance, for your body to really take shape, for your body to really like get to the next level, man. And so yeah, no, I definitely agree, man. But it's crazy, like the alpha male is what you talk about, man. It's just it's lost in today's society, man. And everybody's quitting. People just quit, man. They don't want to go through it, man. They don't want to, if somebody tell them something and they don't, well, it's just the mindset is different these days, man. And I like what a guy said. Like it's time for us to bring back, normalize masculinity, you know. And it's funny, man. Like even as a player, bro, like we were free thinkers. We were, you know, a lot of us, especially, a lot of us, we didn't hold back our thoughts or our objections. It was like, nah, even if it came to coaches sometimes, we would get into it with the coaches. We would be like, nah, this is stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we doing this? Like, there's a better way. Like, and sometimes a coach would sit back and look at it and be like, huh, maybe Matt's right. Maybe Tim's right. Maybe let's see if we can do it. Okay, this is a person who studies the game, and that's kind of a neat place to be in. But it's like, even with life, man, like I study life. I don't just live my life, man. Like I'm conscious of what's going on around me, man. I got to make the best for my family and my children. And so I don't just live. I don't just do things. I don't just put things in my body, man. I don't just sign up for stuff to be signing up for stuff. And so even with all this stuff that's going on in our economy, I'm like, where are the people? Where are the free thinkers? Like, where are the people who are asking questions? Where are the people who are challenging some of the things that are going on? And it's almost as if you challenge or ask questions, then that's you can't do that. But that's a part of what an alpha male does, man. We're protectors, we're providers. We have to make sure that the team is straight, man. We're captains, and as a captain, you have a responsibility to make sure that the needs are met, that the team is straight. If there's bickering and arguing, you step in and you try to clear things up. So you try to get some type of resolve, some type of understanding. If a coach is treating a player a certain way and you notice some weird dynamics, you're not afraid to go to the coach and be like, hey, man, like, is it personal? How can we get this? How can we make sense out of this? What I'm saying? Because this player is not feeling like you giving him a fair shot. Like, what is it? And that's what a captain does, man. And so that's why I wanted to get on the live with you, man, because I'm like you're that guy. You're not a 4-time champion and the player of the year for no reason. There's a mentality that's behind it, and there's a thought process. There's a faith. And I didn't know you was of the faith, but I knew you was of the faith because I'm like, there's something different about this guy, and the one thing I like about 2020 is that now it was easy for us to spot the alpha males. 2020 exposed the alpha males. Because a lot of us weren't going along with the get along. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm with you, dog.
It exposed the foolery, but it also exposed the strength as well. And we got to see what was what. We got to figure out where the weaknesses were, and we got to figure out where the strengths were. And so that's what I loved about 2020. As tragic as it was, I like, I've forged some really good relationships with people who not necessarily believe or think like me, but have that same tenacity towards winning in life. So
no, exactly. That's all. Hey, my mindset. I'm just trying to win every day and get 1% better every day, right? Because if
That's
you're
it,
getting
bro.
1% better every day, hey, that's all
Yep.
you got to do, right? I'm just trying to get 1% better. I'm not trying to be a Hall of Famer today. Hey, but
Right.
if I'm getting better every day, I'm gonna be right because that's the goal. I got a goal. I got a 5 year, right? You got goals when you're in anything. My
Yep.
career I'm in, I'm working in construction now. I manage jobs. I'm the superintendent for a general contractor out here in San Diego. I've never been so challenged with different things in my life. Managing, we got a project that we're on now, $100 million project, and I'm managing a $10 million building and trying to get us, we're building a school, and there's challenging aspects in it all the time. And the only reason, like for me, overcoming it is just bringing in somehow always trying to bring in life into football, right? Just always talking about
Right.
that trench
Right.
mindset and always having to bring your lunch pail to work. You got to bring your lunch pail to work. You got to come to work every day. You got to work your technique. You got to do these things. Everyone's big. Everyone's strong. It's the same thing every day. You get a different playbook every single day, right? Or every single week, right? You get a new playbook. You got a new guy to study. Well, most of the time with your job, maybe you do, but in my job right now, it could be a year-long project. So I have a year-long project to learn the plans. It could be 100 pages, let's say. Well, I just learned how to make a new playbook my bitch, and is just the way, it's just the
Yeah.
mindset,
Yeah.
right? And that's all you
Yeah.
got to do is take the little things that I liked about football. I would watch film and I would just, watch, and I would put it on slow mo for like just watching a kick step. And I would literally watch a guy's kick step all the time. And I'm watching how he gets to his stance every time. Because if I watch him to his stance and I see him position, I'm looking for everything, right? I'm looking, and then I'm watching film trying to see, hey, when does he get tired? What does he show when he gets tired? What's his body movement when he's tired? Because once I see that, I got to capitalize on when you're tired. Because if I don't capitalize when you're tired, I'm going to miss the opportunity. Same in life.
Right.
I got to recognize when opportunities are coming, and I got to take those opportunities and run through that door, because you never know when that door is going to close and it's not time again. You got to wait another round.
100%, bro. 100%. So you're in construction right now. It seems like you're the head. You're the top guy. You're the top dog.
No,
One of the
not a
top.
top guy yet. Just running projects. But yeah, and
So
the general, like,
manager
yeah. So
leadership.
basically managing the whole project. I got
Yeah.
let's see, like anywhere from 100 guys on a site that I got to run, and make sure things are getting done. I'm not having
Okay.
to do the work. It's more of the management side of making sure the guys in their areas need to be handling any of the construction things that are going on, problems, the
Sure.
client relationships, different things like that. But doing ground ups from where you have to come in there and there's nothing there, and you got to bring utilities, you got to bring power, and just finding out the fun little sides of that. I like the method of the madness. That's always what I try to figure out. What's the method of their
Right.
madness? And if you can figure it out, and figure out details. If
Right.
never shy away from details, and if you know the details, then hey, you're ready to go.
Right. 100%. So what inspired? I know you just recently moved from San Diego to Pasadena. What inspired that move?
Oh, work. We had a project up here, and it got shut down during COVID just because we're building a big school up here. It's a 26-acre lot. It's a big school for education first. It's a big time school with I believe it's like language learning, English, basically. And they have schools all over the place. They had schools in China and all over the place. And when that shut down, they had to shut down their project. Well, they've been able to pick it back up. So I've known about it for a little while. So we're moving back up, and it's getting ready to kick off again.
Okay. Okay. That's what's up, bro. So what part of
Yeah,
California? So what part of California are you from?
San Diego, East County,
Okay.
San Diego.
Okay. Okay. That's what's up, bro. Yeah, man. No, no, that's cool, man. It's kind of cool to see athletes transition into life, man. I know, sometimes it can be difficult,
Sure.
especially when you very difficult,
What?
especially when you very,
Dude,
because
I used to
it's
love
just
bashing people, dude. It's just I like to get hit, dude. I love being hit. I love being hit. I like to
yeah,
be challenged, right? And there's no more checks and balances in football either. Like, coaches care, right? Plus and minus, right? When you're watching film, right? You either
right,
did it or you didn't do it. You either ran to the ball or you didn't run to the ball, right? There's no in between.
right.
And that
And no in
mindset,
between,
that mindset's not sometimes the same anymore, and I'm a plus or minus guy. Either you're doing the job or you're not doing the job, right? There's no half in it,
Right.
right? Either you're committed or you're
Right.
not committed. If you're not committed, then just
Not.
don't come,
Yeah.
right? I'm not going to judge you that
Don't.
day. I'm not. If you come in and you say you're
Yeah.
not committed today, I
Yeah.
can understand that, right? But if you come in and you say you're committed
Right.
and you flaw from it and then you don't, that's where that's wishy-washy, right? Same with the good Lord. You don't want
Right.
us wishy-washy. Lukewarm, you're going to spit
Right.
you out.
Right. And that is the disconnect that I find in just regular life, is that you deal with a whole bunch of people who are just wishy-washy.
Because they don't feel the true connectment of team, though. That's what it is, though. Imagine if more people knew that you were committed, right? They might be committed. It's because there's no sense of team or purpose driven inside the workforce. There's like a lacking team at like even with different things, like on my jobs, I try to make it a team. I try to make our foreman, everybody a team, understanding that we're all in it together. No one's out on their own, right? We're all in it together. We all figure it out together. We all have input. We all get it done together. That's how you do it. That's how a team succeeds. Everybody has input. Everybody has a say, and that's how you become the team you're going to become.
Right, 100%. So what is some of your? And I want to bring you back. We'll bring you back. Probably bring you back in a couple of weeks, and because I want to get to this subject of CTE and concussions and all these different things, man. I think I would like to have your opinion and perspective on that. But real quick before we go, I've enjoyed this conversation. If you guys are watching and listening, DreamHustleCoffee.com, sponsored by DreamHustleCoffee.com, Dream Hustle Podcast. I'm here with Matt Moss, 4-time indoor football champion, player of the year, defensive player of the year, all-pro, everything. Texas A&M alumni. We're having a great conversation on leadership. But what would you have? What kind of advice would you give to a young guy right now who is maybe coming out in high school, playing or in college, or what kind of advice would you give a young player right now, as it relates to not only on the field but off the field as well?
Man, it's there's a whole different dynamic thrown into college ball now with this money being made. In college when I played, it's like you got your money. Yeah, there's money. Obviously everybody knows money being thrown around like that, but you get your money and that's it, right? Now you're going to have guys that are now making more money, and that's the difference in pro ball that changes in college ball, right?
Right.
Same in arena league, you could have guys getting different money, right? And it could sometimes ruin the dynamics of the team, right? If guys are not getting money and stuff like that, right? It can really ruin, because then it gets into feelings. And with team, there's no place for feelings. There really isn't. In the locker room, yes, there's a time for feelings, and feelings need to be talked. But basically, it's all about commitment, right? Overall, to the commitment to the goal, right? That's what I would say is make decisions not off of feelings, but make decisions off of your commitment. If you're committed to wanting to be the best at what you do, man, there was times where I wish maybe I didn't go out, or maybe I didn't do this, and maybe I knew that. Yeah, I maybe would have missed out on social part of my experiences, but maybe this part. And it's no regrets, right? But it's ways to pass on knowledge and say, hey, just look at it from this side real quick and say, okay, you feel like going out tonight, but maybe I'm going to stay committed to my goal right now, right? And you know what I mean? And just that's right. Kids would just make this, and you don't deserve anything. You always earn everything, right? Because if you deserve it, you're going to throw in the feelings again. Your feelings are going to get crushed, dude. Business, you're going to get crushed. I've been on the other side where they tell you, hey, your effort's not good enough. Here's your plane ticket home, right? Nobody cared about my feelings there. How do you feel, Matt? How does that make you feel? No, right? I got up, I shook his hand, right? And I left, right? And I said, dang, business is cutthroat, dog, right? But it's okay, dude. If you bring feelings into business, I'm telling you right now, you're going to get crushed, dude. Your feelings are going to get crushed, and you're going to be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Just stay committed and understand that you're going to get crushed. You're going to get cut. Things are going to happen that are not going to go your way. But if that already makes you shy away from it, there's plenty of times I got cut where I never wanted to feel like going through the opportunity again, but I would have missed out on so many more experiences. I would have missed out on winning championships with guys or playing indoor football if I would have quit after I didn't get my opportunity in the NFL, right? I would have missed out on opportunities, but I stayed committed to the overall goal that I wanted to play football. It was just that my football wasn't in the NFL. It was in the indoor league. And hey, it's all good. I had fun. I get to still play football until the wheels fell off. And like I tell the guys now, play it until the wheels fall off. You can always make money. Take
Right.
your hustle that you have on the game and put it to something else. And I swear to you, you will not be hungry. You can always make money. If you want to make money, you can make money because you'll go do anything to make money. You go clean a toilet. You'll go get a job
Right.
anywhere, right? Because you need to make
Right.
money. If you need to make money, you got to make money. So
Right.
if you take that
Facts.
attitude into any job you have,
Yep.
and you take that hunger and that desire and that mindset you had on the football field and channel it to whatever you're doing and attack it like that every day. Practice. You have your game days. Set up it like it. I try to set up myself with my hard hat. That's my football helmet. My vest that I put on every day. That's my shoulder pads, man. I had to put a mindset on to get better at what I do because I'm like, okay, I was a professional at what I did and I was good at what I did. I was a master at my craft. What's my craft now? Okay, I'm a superintendent of construction. I got to master this craft. Okay, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? I got to challenge those every day. I got to get good at those every day. And I do the same thing I did in football in real world, in real life. And I try to challenge myself every day or hold myself accountable. And I believe if those kids or anybody listening does that, I think you will be successful in whatever you do. If you worry about the things you can't control, your attitude, your heart, right? What you bring to the table, your work ethic, what you bring every day, and if you're, and think about it, if you're out there looking for a scholarship or you're looking for the NFL, those are all investments you're looking to get invested to. It's a business opportunity, right? It's a business transaction, right? There's money involved. The college is looking to invest in you and they're looking to get a return on their investment, right? Always, if you want more, you got to get more on the investment. So ROI, I always talk about that, make sure that you get a return on the investment that they're being put back. If someone's passing down wisdom or knowledge to you, make sure you're not just putting it off to the side when the situation comes up and you use that knowledge or you didn't return the investment that old guy gave you or whoever, passed the knowledge down to you, a vet or whoever did, you got to take that wisdom and use it.
Right. There you have it, man. That's some of the best advice, man. It's about the commitment, you guys. It's about commitment. And he's right. He's absolutely right. That same work ethic, it does transition into life, And I like you said, anybody say, how do you feel? You got
how do I
nobody
feel? You know
cared
what I
about
mean? What do you mean? No one's gonna care. No one asked me. I got cut 4 times in my life, and no one ever asked me how I felt after I got cut. Right? It's a business transaction, dude. No one's gonna ask you how you feel, dude. No one's gonna cope you with you. You're gonna walk out of that room, and you got to keep your head high, and you got to believe in what you have. You got to be that real alpha male and know that okay, I still got what it takes. It just depends on what you got, dude. Not everyone's going to like you. Not everything's going to go your way, but are you committed to your goal? Are you committed to your goal? Are you? Not everyone else has to be committed. You got to be committed.
You got to be committed. Man, that's facts, bro. There you have it, everybody. What a phenomenal podcast. I'm going to bring you back, man. I want to get your there's so much more I want to talk to you about, man.
Anytime, brother.
And but I'm going to bring you back. But there you have it. Matt Moss, 4-time indoor football champion, player of the year, successful right now in his own right, a superintendent, general contractor out in California. And we're going to talk a little bit about that a little bit too, because we don't put enough emphasis on the post-football life, and even when I watch interviews and stuff, I hear people talking about the actual career itself, but I think the post-football life is really what matters, man, because if we think about it, we only play, I got done playing when I was 28. I don't know what, when you got done playing, but,
30
there's
my last year.
Yeah, so there's a whole nother life. There's like 30 more, 40 more years,
Right.
And so what helped me years ago, man, a pastor of mine, he told me, I was thinking about quitting, man. I was like, I don't want to play football no more. I want to do something else. And he said, you got to look at it like this, man. He said, you only get one life to live and you're only young for a small portion of your life, and football is one of them sports where you can't really do it at 50, man. You can't really do it at 40. You can't really, you can, but it's really a young man's game, like others like boxing and basketball. You can play that stuff. So you like, basketball, soccer stuff. You can play that until you like 80, you know what I'm saying? But football is one of those sports to where like not only is it a young man's game, but it's also a game that ages you really, really fast. Like you and our bodies probably feel like my body. I mean, I'm walking up to my knee. I mean, it's dude.
That turf is no joke, dude.
It's no joke, man. My knees are shot, man, and you know, and so it's just so it's you. We only get a moment to really make the most out of it, make the most out of it. So if I had anything to add to what you just said, as you know, even as a young guy, just make the most of it. Have fun, man, and get and really connect with the people. I'm still connected with a lot of guys that I played ball with in college. You know, today one of my best friends. You know, we played JUCO ball together actually. You know, and so just enjoy the moment, and I'm super excited, Matt. Thank you so much for coming on. And we'll have you back so we can talk about this concussion thing.
No problem.
But make sure you guys go to dreamhustlecoffee.com, patronize us. We ship to all 50 states, and yeah, and check us out. We'll have this up here soon. Dream Hustle Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, all that. So again, Matt, thank you so much. And
no problem, big dog.
yeah, and I hit you up, man. I'm gonna have you back for sure.
Hit me up, dude. Anytime. Give me a call anytime you want to talk or just chat it up. I got you, man. Enjoy every bit about you and enjoy everything you got going on. And wish the best for you and keep moving and keep on punching everybody in the face. You know what I mean? You know.
Hey, I appreciate it, bro.
Kick and punch, baby. Kick and punch, right?
Kick it. That should be a whole. I'm about to text you in a second, bro.
All right, dog.
All right, yep.
Have a good one, man.
All right, you too.